Rafah is the last refuge and safe zone for displaced Palestinians. It is believed that about 1.5 million displaced Palestinians are found in Rafah, right? Now, the IDF is currently conducting an air campaign, right, which is filled with bombings and shelling and basically airstrikes, right? And it is basically threatening to start a ground offensive, particularly after Ramadan. Ramadan is on the 10th of March, right? And they saying that if Hamas does not release the hostages that they have, they will actually start a ground campaign, a ground offensive in Rafah. Now, the main reason for the ground offensive, right, that is planned for the 10th of March, Ramadan, is particularly to control an area that is known as the Philadelphia Corridor, right? The Philadelphia Corridor is basically a buffer zone that exists between Egypt and Gaza, right? When I say Egypt, it's particularly an area known as Sinai. Egypt is currently reinforcing its border using concrete walls, and it is particularly planning to move its military towards or close to the border to prevent any humanitarian catastrophe spilling over onto its territory. Now, Egypt is quite a stable government and it is quite a friendly government in regards to certain wars which break out in its neighbors. For example, Egypt took in refugees, right, from the war in Libya, right? It's currently taking displaced individuals from Sudan, right? And it has been taking a few Palestinians which were basically fleeing into Egypt, right? But Egypt does not believe that it can handle the humanitarian crisis, right? That will occur after the ground offensive that the IDF is planning. Now, there's always been tunnels, right, between Egypt and Gaza, right, which were used for mostly transporting weapons and certain commercial products and even citizens and individuals. Now, Rafah is quite tragic because after Rafah, the Palestinians literally have nowhere to go. They can't go further south because there'll be an incursion into trespassing basically into another country, particularly Sinai, right? Now we must all fundamentally understand why is Israel doing all of this pushing of the Palestinians towards the south, right? The plan was always to drive Palestinians towards Sinai, right? To particularly move out of Gaza, right? And Egypt doesn't necessarily want this. That's why it's basically building and reinforcing this wall to prevent this humanitarian crisis from occurring, right? But what will cause the ultimate destruction is the ground offensive, which is planned to occur on the 10th of March, 2024.